In this experiment, let us learn how to make a basic circuit.
Let us know the components required for our circuit. This is a battery that provides power supply to the electric circuit.
This is a switch used to turn the circuit on or off.
These are buzzers that make sound when switched on.
These are called connectors, which are wires.
The battery has two terminals, a circle-shaped positive terminal and a hexagonal negative terminal.
The battery connector has two wires that are connected to the battery clip. The battery clip has a similar horizontal clasp that fits over the circle positive terminal of the battery and the circle clasp that locks into the hexagonal negative terminal of battery.
The wires of the battery clip now are connected to the battery. Battery can now be wired in an electric circuit.
To make the electrical components accessible for the visually impaired, we have used holders which has the components attached to it. These components are wired to the sockets which can be used to plug into any circuit with the help of wires called connectors.
Some components like battery or buzzer have negative and positive terminals. To differentiate the sockets connected to positive terminals, we have an embossed marker near the socket.
This is a switch holder with a switch connected to the two sockets. When switch is on, it makes a circuit closed and off would result in an open circuit. A tactile sticker is pasted on the switch to indicate this.
When the tactile is in the lower position, it indicates that the switch is off. When you press the switch, the tactile is raised indicating the switch is on. This is a buzzer holder whose two terminals are connected to two sockets. The socket connected to the positive terminal has an embossed marker. The embossed marker is used across all component holders to indicate the positive terminal.
Let us now make a basic electrical circuit using a battery, buzzer and a switch. We will connect these components using connectors to make a circuit. Wires that has its two ends that can be plugged into sockets are called connectors.
To make a circuit, let's start plugging one end of the first connector to the positive terminal of the battery. Locate the positive terminal by finding the socket with the embossed marker.
Plug the other end of this connector to the buzzer positive terminal socket.
Take a second connector and plug one of its end into the battery's socket that is connected to its negative terminal. The other end of the second connector is plugged into one of the sockets in the switch holder.
You can now see that the battery is connected to a buzzer with one connector and to a switch with the other connector.
With a third connector, connect the switch and the buzzer by plugging into their empty sockets.
We now have an electric circuit ready with the positive of battery connected to the positive of the buzzer. The other battery terminal is connected to the switch. With the third connector, the switch and the buzzer are connected.
Now let's switch the circuit on and you can hear the buzzer beep if your connections are correct. Listen.
Okay. Now I'm going to switch it off.
Now let's replace the buzzer connected with another buzzer. Ensure you are plugging the connector from positive of battery to the positive socket in the buzzer holder. The other socket is connected to the socket in the switch.
This beep is periodic while the other buzzer used before beeped continuously.
When the circuit is closed, the current passes through and you can hear the buzzer beep. While it is open, the current does not pass through the circuit.
You could choose to continue to do the next experiment of connecting buzzers in series and parallel.
Else, disconnect all the components and ensure to pack them all back as before.